everyone, this is my first video on my new channel, and I'm setting up my new reading log. This is actually my first reading log, so I took some time to get some inspiration on what to put in it. I've been using the bullet journal method for a few years now, and honestly, I love how it helps me keep track of things, but like I said, this is the first time I'm making a reading log. Of course, I start with my index. I have a quick list of things that I want this journal to track, so I'm very comfortable setting them on the first couple of lines of the index. Just gonna go in, trace out my line, retrace my line, count my boxes, but it's always like the first step for me, like just get the index in. I know there are a lot of creators out there that do set up with me's, and while I do enjoy watching them and even using them as inspiration, I haven't seen too many use black paper journals. I am using an Archer and Olive B5 blackout journal, but I do have to say that it's not the only Archer and Olive in my hoard. I have about 4 of them actually. 3 of them are the blackouts, and 1 of them is white paper. It's a very nice journal, don't get me wrong. I would have more, but they're not actually my favorites. I might have to do a flip through on some of my other journals, or even show through my hoard of journals. But right now, I'm just setting up the 2024 bookshelf. That's what I'm doing right here. I'm using washi tape to kind of block out where I'm going to put this paint pen. This is a gold paint pen. One of the things to keep in mind with using a black journal is that not every writing utensil can be used. Some show up better and some show up not at all. Like pencil does show up really well under light. So I measured out the spaces that I need for each book on the shelf, and I've given myself 10 shelves in this bookshelf. And then for each spine of the book, I've given myself 2 columns. So just checking something here. I'm gonna go in and mark my my shelves, and then draw them in with the pencil. I do use a ruler and pencil to get basically a guideline, but as you'll see later, I don't always use the ruler for writing that line in, and that's just because like some of these pens, they do bleed underneath the metal ruler. I use this washi tape because it's honestly like not my favorite. It's not that great of a washi tape even, as you'll see in a minute. And I'm gonna go in and try different pens to write on top of this gold paint pen. I'll just say this right now, nothing really looked good. I'm not really happy with it, and I will continue to fuss with this until I figure something out. Um, and I even went in and touched up a little bit with that gold paint. So I'm gonna just put a tip in here because I do plan on color coding what goes on the bookshelf. So I just basically used a black piece of journal paper from one of my other Archer and Olive blackout journals. And I'm gonna draw my key on it. Oh yes, here we go. You're gonna see like this washi tape is not great. I had to go in with the tweezers to try and get it up, and it really did tear up some of the paper. But when all else fails, try a Sharpie. Black paper, use a Sharpie. White paper, use white paint or white gel pens. Those work. But on black paper, Sharpie does wonders. And if that doesn't work, try a sticker. So I made a tip in for my spine key, and then continued across that for the bookshelf. Just taping it in here, and gonna continue that kind of aesthetic look here. And then I realized as I was putting it in that I didn't put it in exactly flush. So, as you can see, I'm still trying to get a better title on there. But here I am putting in my lines for the webcomics and periodicals, novellas, basically anything that's not a traditional book will go on that for the next spread. As you probably have figured out, I'm not one of those aesthetically pleasing bullet journal users. I can take some time to create some collage spreads, but that's not what my main focus for this journal was. Of course, I want to have a theme going through each spread or something like that, but these first couple of them are going to be just they're overall spreads. They're things that I'm going to be using every month to kind of wrap up some things. So I'm not exactly looking to have a theme through them. Maybe the next journal, but not this one. This one I'm just too excited to get it down on paper and go with it. So here I'm doing a reading tracker, because I want to track how many days I actually read and not just how many books. I'm going to use this micro washi tape to kind of outline my year. And I did write out the months across the top and then 31 days down the side there. So every day will have a box, basically. And then I decided I was going to try and make those boxes like half boxes so I could put multiple things in there. As you can see, I'm trying to put that line in, and then I realized I don't need the line. I can figure it out. So I got my kneaded eraser and I just went in and took it all out. I also went in and tried to get all the pencil after that. Form does not need to apply here for me. I need function. I rather have function over form. So I'm gonna put in a little key at the bottom here. There's a new book. There's, let's see, new book. I put a couple of hours in there. So did I read for 4 hours? Did I read for 6? Did I finish a book? Did I review a book? And then I left one blank. That dark green one I kind of left blank because I didn't know what else I would want to track, but I wanted to give myself room. This next one is going to be the book club schedule. Now the book club that I'm in doesn't actually tell us ahead of time more than maybe 3 weeks before they give us the book. So I wanted to have space to write that in there. But I'm also looking at joining other book clubs. So I wanted to give myself room for that too. Now, I did kind of goof by writing the months in. But if something doesn't go exactly to plan, that's just life. I needed to readjust my micro washi tape, and then I counted some more squares and figure out where the next one went. Yeah. But I goofed again. I'm not gonna lie. There's no way I can cover this up. I definitely goofed again. I do blame my husband for this one because he distracted me. As you can see, I totally missed the month of May. So I had to go in and rewrite them. Sharpie for the win. Didn't exactly cover it all up because this was a Stardust jelly roll. So the Sharpie kind of just smeared a little bit. Gave myself some space at the bottom there so that I could decorate, but I also wanted to put a little bit of flair for the book club schedule. Currently, like I said, I'm only in one book club, but I am constantly reading and I'm usually running out of things to read. So, I needed to think about that coming up. So, right here, I'm going to put in a rating system. Um, I'm new to rating systems, but I found one that I can use objectively while reading. And since my hope is to become a better reviewer for books, setting up a standard I can refer back to was very important to me. I did make a tab for this one, as you'll see in a minute, so I could get to it easily. But now that I'm watching it back, I realized a tip in would probably be better because then I can have the tip in out while I'm actually writing my reviews and scoring things. Oh, yeah, and I do read a lot of spicy books, so I wanted to make sure I had a rating system for that. Although, as you'll see in a minute, as I'm writing what that review, how to use that system, I put an asterisk on it because I am not 100% behind my own rating system on that. So that might be a work in progress. Of course, if anybody has suggestions, I'll totally take it. Yep, little asterisk right there because I'm not totally sold on that myself. This other side, I wanted, because I do read so much, I wanted to have a space for um, my book recommends. I'm always getting book recommends from either the ladies in the book club or my best friend. Um, Even my coworker uh, reads some of the same kind of genres that I tip my toes into. And I'm always writing down book recommends, but I always lose slips of paper that I write it on. So having a place that I can reference back to is key. Using some of that micro washi tape. Um, yeah, I love using it. It's just super useful. Here you go, another one. I pulled out all the black gold and the yellow or the white golds. I'm sorry, white and golds for this. I don't have a theme, but things I tried to keep things to like at least somewhat cohesive between everything. So this I wanted to make sure I had a schedule for any videos that I put out because I always work better with a plan, even if that plan goes to absolute hell. Like, it's just comforting to have one. So I gave myself enough space to list out a couple of books or dates or whatever for review videos. I did better on this one. I didn't miss May. As you can see, I'm continuously counting to make sure I have enough space for everything. 6 ones on each side. Um, yeah, and I'm gonna go in with my .001 fine liner and write in the months. Yeah, I love that fine liner. Here I am finessing some of those earlier pages. I'm just so not happy with that bookshelf. um, yeah. And then I thought of something else to put in the tip in, like purchased or gifted books. I do have a wish list that the club uses on Wishlist Wednesdays. So I wanted to, designate if that was a purchase book versus a book that I borrowed basically from Kindle Unlimited. So, next spread. As those eagle eye viewers might have seen, there was a blank page in there. I did leave it empty on purpose. I wanted to leave a blank space to allow for constructive criticisms for previous videos that I've done instead of plan it out. I just wanted to have that place to write the pointers or the tips that I got on how to provide better content. So that's what it's there for. This is the first of the review pages. So, January, I did find a sticker that was blue, and it does kind of look like it's got snowflakes on it, so I thought it was pretty apt for January. And I wanted to give myself a calendar. I have a habit of DNRing really bad written books, which is one of the reasons that I decided I was going to start reviewing books, or even offering services for proofreading, because there are so many books that really need that help. And um, I realized I should probably not DNR so many reads. You probably am missing out on, a nugget of a good story behind terrible grammar. Um, so I wanted to have a calendar specifically showing me like what days I actually like how long it takes me to get through a book. My statistics on Kindle are pretty spot on, but I wanted to, do it myself. So yeah, I wanted to see how long it took me to get through a book. By the way, all of my supplies I get from Amazon, the Daiso, and sometimes Michaels. Like that sticker came from Michaels. It was in a planner sticker set. Here I am with the Sharpie. Gonna go in and undo some of my mistakes. And then if all else fails, cover it with a sticker. All right. So this I'm actually really excited for January. That number one on the side there is I'm going to track these books with numbers instead of colors or the titles. As you can see, that's a pretty small calendar. Um, and then I gave myself a page for the book club read. Again, I plan on joining other book clubs, but I really wanted a page to highlight that. Um, Okay, so here are the review pages themselves. I'm going to keep these pretty static. The format is going to be the same each month. Colors might change. Like this month, I got that blue sticker, so now we're going to go with blue. As you can see, that calendar was in blue with blue washi tape. These are even dark blue stickers. Here I have blue and white. They look like mountains, micro washi tape. They look like mountains to me. Um, so I'm gonna use my Sprocket, I believe it's called, Sync photo as a template. It's an HP Sprocket. That's how I'm gonna print out my covers. I'm just gonna use it real quick to measure where they're gonna go, and then I'm gonna put in the information. Again, this is gonna be the same every single time. I don't think there's going to be a change in the information that I want to track. The only thing I foresee that might be a problem is where I put my review notes. That's that last one there. And who knows, I might need to change that next month or in the next pages. I only did a couple of pages for these ahead of time because I wanted to see how they worked. But because I do plan on doing videos, I wanted to give myself a nice space to put review notes in. Completing this up. So yeah, this will be static every month, as it is some of the information that I'm going to track for myself. I may do a monthly wrap up. I haven't decided yet. But here we go, flip back through, and the last step is add it to the index. Thank you.